Shalom and welcome back. Today I want to talk about the mighty King David. King David was a man after Yahweh's heart, but not always. He sinned a couple times, and I want to talk about one of them times right now. In 1 Chronicles chapter 21, the unsanctioned census. Now, I'm going to read this to you, and if you have a Bible, you could follow me, or you could study it later. It's your call. But here we go. It states here, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. He influenced them. And David said unto Job and to the rulers of the people, Go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I might know it. And Job answered, Yahweh, make his people 100 times so many more that as they be. But my sovereign, the king, are they not all my sovereign servants? Why then doeth my sovereign require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel? Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Job, and wherefore Job departed and went throughout all Israel, and came to Jerusalem. And Job gave the sum of the number of the people unto David, and all they of Israel were 1,000,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. Judah was 400, threescore and 10,000 men that drew a sword. Now Job questioned David's motives and intentions, but you can go so far to question the king. If you second thought him or anything, he could put you in a dungeon, or he could actually kill you, execute you. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's word was abominable to Job. And Elohim was displeased with this thing, therefore he smote Israel. And David said unto Elohim, I have sinned greatly because I have done this thing. But now I beseech thee, do away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. And Yahweh spoke unto Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and tell David, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, I offer thee 3 things. Choose one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came to David and said unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, choose thee, either 3 years of famine, or 3 months to be destroyed before thy foes, while that the sword of thine enemies overtaketh thee, or else 3 days, the sword of Yahweh, even the pestilence in the land, and the angel of Yahweh destroying throughout all the coast of Israel. Now therefore advise thyself what word I shall bring again unto him that sent me. So Yahweh's given David 3 options. He's basically saying, pick your poison. He's gonna spank him in one way, but he's giving David the choice. What do you want? And David said unto Gad, I am in great strait. Let me fall now unto the hand of Yahweh, for very great are his mercies. But let me not fall into the hand of man. So Yahweh sent pestilence upon Israel, and there fell Israel 70,000 men. And Elohim sent an angel unto Jerusalem to destroy it. And as he was destroying, Yahweh beheld, and he repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed, It is not enough, stay now thine hand. And the angel of Yahweh stood by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of Yahweh stand between the earth and the heaven, having a drawn sword in his hand stretched out over Israel. Then David and the elders of Israel, who were clothed in sackcloth, fell on their faces. That shows you some kind of fear they had, really. They knew they did wrong. They fell on their faces trying to appease them. David said unto Elohim, Is it not that I commanded the people to be numbered? Even I it is that have sinned and done evil indeed. But as for these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, O Yahweh, my Elohim, be on me and on my father's house, but not on thy people, that they should be plagued. So David's trying to take full responsibility here please leave the people alone. It's not their fault. Punish me. Now we'll go to 21:18. Then the angel of Yahweh commanded Gad to say to David that David should go up and set up an altar unto Yahweh in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David went up at the saying of Gad, which he spoke in the name of Yahweh. And Ornan turned back and saw the angel of his 4 sons with him hid themselves. Now Ornan was threshing wheat. And David came to Ornan. Ornan looked and saw David and went out of the threshing floor and bowed himself to David with his face to the ground. And David said to Ornan, grant me the place of this threshing floor, that I might build an altar thereon unto Elohim, or Yahweh. Thou shalt grant it to me for the full price, that the plague may be stayed from the people. And Ornan said unto David, take it to thee, and let my sovereign the king do that which is good in his eyes. Lo, I give thee the oxen also for burnt offerings, and the threshing instruments for wood, and the wheat for the meat offering. I give it all. And King David said to Ornan, nay, I will verily buy it for a full price, for I will not take that which is thine for Yahweh, nor offer burnt offerings without cost. So David ain't just going to take it, use his power to, his authority to take it. He's going to buy it fair and square. He's going to deal fairly with them. So David gave to Ornan for the place 600 shekels of gold by weight. David built there an altar unto Yahweh, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and called upon Yahweh, and he answered him from heaven by fire unto the altar of burnt offering. And Yahweh commanded the angel, and he put up his sword again into the sheath thereof. At that time, when David saw that Yahweh had answered him in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite, then he sacrificed there. For the tabernacle of Yahweh, which Moses made in the wilderness, and the altar of the burnt offering, were at that same season the high place of Gibeon. David could not go before it to inquire of Elohim, for he was afraid because of the sword of the angel of Yahweh. So David knew he messed up. It was unauthorized. It wasn't commanded for him to do that. He made an atonement for his sin, covered his sin by doing the sacrifice, altering. He dealt fairly with Ornan. He felt, he didn't steal his property or anything. He didn't try to confiscate it, under forfeiture of some kind. He just bought it fair and square. And Ornan, being a nice guy he was, offered it up to him. And, what we could take out of this is, you don't go against the word of Yahweh like that, especially if you're a king, because Yahweh, he holds people in position. He holds them more responsible for than average people, because he's the one that put them in those positions for a reason. And if they deal treacherously or unfairly to their people, they're going to have to answer to it later on. Real later on, the great white throne judgment. But that was one of the sins of David, and he felt really bad about it, repented, did all he could to justify it, try to make Yahweh whole again. But so I wanted to study that with you, and I thank you again for, stopping by and listening to me. And please feel free to watch my other videos. Hit that notification bell, because I'm going to have more coming out. Punch out the like button and subscribe. And I thank you again. Till we meet again, shalom and peace out.